Hello, I'm King Ross, and I'm going to start a trend today that definitely has never happened before, and that is mailing a human inside a box. But not just any box, a King Ross's mystery box. And not just any human, but this human.
Little King Ross, and I'm inside of a box.
Ballin'! It's John O'Clock, everybody! JBL still has a job, and John Cena has always told me to never give up, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do in this hashtag Fire JBL campaign. Did you hear it? I certainly did. The moment where Kevin Owens' theme inexplicably cut into the opening montage of SmackDown Live. You know, the shot where it's panning over the crowd, and all the crowd are like, "Daddy, look at me, Daddy! Daddy, look at me! Oh, Daddy, why are you ignoring me? Why do you ignore me, Daddy?" Simple explanation for this, of course. ... dive. That's the new cool thing, isn't it? So I'm gonna use it. It's cool. ... How can that there possibly be the Jeritron 6500 or whatever the hell it's called, when Chris Jericho himself, or his face to be more precise, smashed it into 6500 pieces by himself? How can it be? Hey, Bray Wyatt might have fixed it, like as that House of Horrors and that nonsense paradise. Been spending most our life living in the nonsense paradise. Proved that Bray loves to spend bare time putting together the most bare weird things that we have ever seen, like bear babies dangling from a roof. Fake views, because it rhymes with news and you view a TV, and that TV couldn't have been the TV it was claiming to be. 6 weeks to surpass Emelina's hype gimmick ting, which is undoubtedly the gimmick Lana has been shoveled with here. 11. Come back next week for more of that hashtag that I will never remember, ever. It's John O'Clock, everybody! Shirt. There was a contract signing for a 3-on-3 women's match with absolutely no stakes. WTF is going on. I'm all for giving this Divas Revolution, which is turning into a Divas Evolution, a big old push, but you have to have stakes for contract signings like that to matter. Otherwise, it's just a token gesture to make things feel bigger than they actually are. It just demeans the whole thing without actually trying to demean it. And if you're going to demean it, what's the point in doing it? Byron Saxton claimed that with Becky Lynch turning down the welcoming committee, which of course, remember, includes Tamina, who joined SmackDown as part of the Superstar shakeup, meaning she's nowhere near qualified to be in the welcoming committee. Becky Lynch has done what she has always done in the opinion of Byron, that is be an independent thinker and do what's the best for her heart, or whatever meaningless drivel he said. This is Becky Lynch, who just in WWE alone has been aligned with Sasha Banks and Bae, best at everything in NXT. She's been in Team PCB, the former sexy submission slags or whatever the hell. The submission sorority or whatever. Either way, it began with an S and it was naughty, so they scrapped it. She was part of that team, and then once again she was aligned with Sasha for a little bit before WrestleMania 32. This is a woman who clearly doesn't think for herself. Heck, she's part of a fake stable, the 4 horsewomen, who haven't even been a stable on television. They just call themselves that because they like the graps and they know fine well that they're bloody good of it. She's not an independent thinker, as all of that evidence proves. Dolph Ziggler's shtick, which is claiming that Shinsuke Nax has done bugger all within WWE, it's a load of bollocks, isn't it? To prove it's a load of bollocks, here's a quote from Triple H, one of Dolphy Pooh's bosses, from an interview that he did with ESPN at the back end of 2016. We say that it's developmental, it's of course been NXT, but at the same time, it's a third brand. 200 events this year, specials, and the weekly show itself, which are one of the most popular things on the network. I think over the years you're going to begin to see Raw as its own brand, SmackDown as its own brand, NXT. You're gonna see people move around. It's no longer just gonna be that guy got called up. It's gonna be maybe this guy got moved over or she got moved over. And blah, 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 blah. Basically, what I'm saying here is Dolph Ziggler's boss clearly sees NXT as WWE's third brand. Shinsuke Nax is a former two-time NXT champion, NXT being WWE's third brand. Shinsuke Nax has done stuff in WWE. Ziggler's lion mane of a haircut is clearly growing inwards as well as outwards because he's starting to make as much sense as John Bradshaw Layfield. Somebody needs to start a new Fashion Files case for a case that has absolutely nothing to do with fashion. Baron Corbin claims that he's going to put Sami Zayn down permanently if Sami shows up for their match at Backlash on Sunday. Now, to put someone down permanently, anybody else on the roster, you just brush that off as hyperbole. But Baron Corbin, a man who has a track record for attempted murder, yes, Dean Ambrose, we remember when Baron tried to murder you with a forklift. This means something completely more sinister, I'm sure you'll agree. With that track record, Big Baron Bertie Bollocks is going to obviously attempt to murder Sami Zayn in the face. This hypothesis from this sexual wank pheasant stands true further when you look at the Latin, the Norman, and the Anglian translation of Corbin. That means crow. What do crows like to do? They like to peck people's eyes out, a form of murder in the face. And once more, if you take the name Baron and Corbin, remove the initials, put the initials on Google, look for synonyms of murder, you get butchery and crime. Butchery, crime, Baron Corbin, it all adds up. Essentially, after all this evidence, all I've got to say is thank you. Get me on these Fashion Files because I'm amazing. Can you tell this is a short episode that I'm padding out to what is a short episode that's becoming a long one thanks to crap like this? Dive, duck, dip, dive, and get away, you smarky nonce, with your topical sign. Next, we have the moment where Byron Saxton claimed that Baron Corbin is a heavyweight that moves like a... No, you got it wrong. He said lightweight, this silly bugger. Byron, of course, said this on WWE SmackDown Live, which takes place before 205 Live, which involves the... You guessed it, the cruiserweights. The cruiserweights, who of course have their own division within WWE, which continues to get buried even deeper and deeper and deeper when announcers don't announce them when they should be announcing them. Calls like this from Byron, who sometimes appears to be clued in, but then sometimes again he appears to be just absolutely airheaded. Calls like this from him prove to me one thing, that each cruiserweight, maybe apart from Neville and Aries, but the rest of them, they're lucky they're not horses, because if they were horses, they would have been took out the back now, shot in the head, and turned into glue. And not very good glue either, because they're not very heavy.
In the journalist industry, word-based offenses are considered especially repulsive. In the world of WhatCulture, dedicated riding wranglers who investigate these faux pas are members of an elite squad known as King Ross's grammar gendarme. These are their stories.
Baron Corbin, when you use a double negative to try and insult Randy Orton, it turns into anything but an insult. You saying that Randy Orton ain't nobody means you're saying to Randy Orton, he is somebody, you silly, stupid bastard.
In the journalist industry, word-based offenses are considered especially repulsive. In the world of WhatCulture, dedicated riding wranglers who investigate these faux pas are members of an elite squad known as King Ross's grammar gendarme.
Where the hell's Rusev, man? Hello there. The angel from my nightmare, the shadow in the background of the book, the unsuspecting victim of darkness in the valley. We can live like Jack and Sally if we want, where you can always find me. We'll have Halloween on Christmas, in the night we'll waste it every. Oh, where are you?